for not only Olympian, silver medalist back at Metamora Township High School, Anna Peplowski.
Metamora welcomes back their hometown Olympic hero from Paris. Hello, Central Illinois. Central Illinois' Olympic hero Anna Peplowski arrived back in her hometown with a shiny silver medal and hundreds of fans chanting USA, USA. The Anna Peplowski celebration began in her hometown with a fire truck parade, a police escort around Germantown Hills. There's Anna in the front seat of the fire truck with that silver medal. We were right there when Anna got off the truck at her high school alma mater. What a scene at Metamora High as the 2021 Metamora High grad returned from Paris. Look at the crowd at Tepke Gym as they were all there to show their support. Where's Mom and Dad? You bet they're in the front row, and we're going to find Dad pretty easily. There he is. He's all fired up to be on. Yeah, an emotional return home for USA Olympic silver medalist Anna Peplowski. Well, let's start right with that silver medal. What does it mean to have that around your neck?
It means everything. Being able to say that I'm an Olympic silver medalist is honestly really emotional, and it sometimes makes me tear up because of how amazing it is. So.
What about this welcome home today?
It was honestly way more than I anticipated it to be, and seeing all these kids out here and knowing that I have been able to make a difference on all of them and their future paths really means a lot.
And it did not rule out the 2028 Olympics. What a summer for Metamora's first ever Olympic athlete. 2 weeks to High School Football Friday. Our 25 Sports Football Tour continues now at Pekin High. The Dragons hit the weights to try to muscle their way back into the state playoffs. The Pekin Dragons game plan this year is to overpower opponents. This is a Pekin team built in the weight room.
We've been putting in a lot of work over the summer. This is one of the strongest teams that we've had in a really long time here at Pekin. All around, offense, defense, we're looking really strong, both sides of the ball. Really just challenging each other in the weight room and pushing each other to be better every day.
I think we got some big dudes, big numbers, and I think that's ultimately what we're missing last year. We got a lot of senior leadership, and at the end of the day, it's going to correlate to our success this year.
Pekin's strength will be their strength, their big linemen up front. You know, Pekin also has a big senior class, a senior class that 2 years ago was on one of the greatest Pekin football teams ever, a senior class that last year missed the playoffs at 4-5. The seniors did not like the taste of last year being home week 10.
We're itching for it. You know, everybody here, we're desperate after last season. We're kind of disappointed. We thought we were going to do better than that, but we're ready to prove our worth.
Going 4-5, that's not our expectations. You know, we've won the conference 2 out of the last 4 years, been in the playoffs 3 times the last 4 years, so they know the expectation here, and they want to get back to Pekin football. We're going to continue to play Pekin football, being physical up front, and it always starts up front with our offensive and defensive line.
Here's a closer look at Pekin. Again, Pekin beat every team below them in the middle, and but lost to the 4 teams above them. They went 4-5. They returned 7 starters on offense, 5 on defense. We heard from Hunter Lamberson. And check out their season opener. They play Rolling Meadows at home. Rolling Meadows head coach, former Bears kicker Robbie Gold. The Chicago 25 Sports Football Tour does not take the weekend off. Tomorrow we stop at Hayworth, and the early shows we stop at Eureka tomorrow at 10. I spent the night with these football experts. This is the Tremont Fantasy Football League. A lot of us play fantasy football, but how many of us have played fantasy football for 50 years? This league held its 50th draft tonight. The league started in Washington and moved to Tremont. Tonight they celebrated a half-century of football fantasy fun.
We never thought that this would go on for this long, although we look forward to it every year. It was something we looked forward to, the draft, the season. We just, 50 years sort of sneaked up on us, and it's just extremely enjoyable.
Good luck to all the Tremont League fantasy football owners. 50 years ago, they were drafting O.J. Simpson and Terry Bradshaw in the first round. Wow.